Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You guys remember, it really wasn't that long ago, maybe 5 or 6 months ago, when the left was going crazy over Pete Hegseth and his tattoos. They were pushing all kinds of lies, claiming he's a drunk, he's an alcoholic, he's a domestic abuser. And of course, when that stuff didn't work, they pointed at his tattoos and dishonestly claimed that his Christian iconography, symbols that trace back to the medieval era if I'm not mistaken, they claimed that those were white supremacist, white nationalist tattoos when they clearly were simply Christian nationalist in nature. Well, you know what? I remember that. And I gotta say, I find it particularly relevant right now, as this left-wing Gram Platner character, a Democrat candidate in a high-profile race, has been identified as having a literal Nazi tattoo, and all of a sudden the tattoo police, they're all running to his defense. Oh, suddenly it's not the same thing, right? Suddenly there's more context needed. Oh, he covered up the tattoo. Nothing to see here, folks. Give me a frickin' break. Rules for thee, but not for me. Absolute utter hypocrisy and dishonesty. The despicable Democrat double standard as per usual. And these people try to convince the world that they're the moral police, right? They have the moral authority. Give me a break. These people have zero moral authority. They shouldn't be lecturing anyone. I refuse, again, to be lectured by any leftist at this point. But anyways, let me show you guys what's going on, and I want to delve a little bit deeper into the disgusting hypocrisy here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so we've got this self-avowed communist now, Gram Platner. Really shows where the Democrat Party's headed, by the way. You got Zoran Mamdani absolutely decimating in New York City. And now it's followed by this guy, who just, had a casual Nazi tattoo. That is an unmistakable Nazi-era skull on his chest. And for some reason, again, the tattoo police that went crazy over Pete Hegseth's cross, now they're rallying behind this guy. You would expect, especially on the left that's constantly going on and on, the threat of fascism and white nationalism, you would expect that one of their own getting caught with a tattoo of this nature, well, his career would be over, right? But no, of course not. Rather, what's happening is Gram Platner, he is flying in the polls. He is now crushing incumbent Janet Mills. In other words, getting caught with a Nazi tattoo as a leftist candidate makes you somehow more popular. We should never, ever accept lectures from these people ever again. Never again.
But at this point, if he moves forward, Democrats aren't winning the seat.
I hate to break the news to you, but he's winning the primary by 30 points.
Well, I think that's why he needs to get out.
Getting a Nazi tattoo made him more popular.
I don't think it made him more popular
among Democrats. You've got a guy running for attorney general in Virginia who wants to murder Republicans, and he raised $500,000 off of it. You got Nazi tattoo guy in Maine. I sat out here for a year. 2 years listening to every Democrat at this table say, Donald Trump's a Nazi, Elon's a Nazi, and your party is now in love with a guy with a Nazi tattoo who trained a left-wing paramilitary group and called himself an Antifa super soldier on the internet, and he's going up every day. Good luck getting him out. I am but a humble political analyst, and I will just tell you that when you're winning a race by 30 points, if a pundit on television tells you, well, you need to think about dropping out, you laugh in their face.
I don't know.
This is a year out.
I feel like I'm leave the race.
I want Democrats to be who they are. This is who they are.
This is not
who they are.
No, it is
not. Hold on, you're saying that Democrats are Nazis? Is
I'm
that
saying
what
it's very on brand right now. Very on brand.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on, Scott. Really, are you suggesting that a person who wears a Nazi tattoo because he was in the military or whatever is representative of the entire Democratic Party? Is that the...
I'm only reading the polling, Abby. When all this story broke and he started talking about it, he literally got more popular. He's beating the incumbent governor of Maine by 30 points.
You realize that he's running in one state, in Maine, and you're also saying that because of that, he's representative of the Democratic Party. You said this is who they are. Who is they?
Look at the polling. Look at the energy.
This is not about the polling. This is not about the polling.
This is who they want. Bernie Sanders wants him. The beating heart of the Democratic Party, where their energy is, wants the Nazi tattoo guy. That's what they want.
The hypocrisy is almost cartoonish. The Democrat Party runs on moral panic, right? Fake outrage. Oh. And then to do something like this, it's a total shot to their credibility, as if there was anything left. And to have this scandal happen in the backdrop as continuously, every single day, every frickin' 5 minutes, Democrat politicians are constantly using Nazi fear-mongering to attack the right, it's just an unbelievable level of hypocrisy. Just yesterday, Democrat Representative Adam Smith went on air and said this with a straight face.
We are losing our constitutional republic. And meanwhile, the House of Representatives, Mike Johnson has effectively dissolved the United States House of Representatives. I spoke with several Republicans, including Chairman Mike Rogers today, to talk about, okay, we need to have hearings on this. The House Armed Services needs to exercise oversight. And there are many Republicans, including Mike Rogers, who agree with that. But we're not in session, so we can't do it. So we're not going to do it. So the president just gets to do what he wants. I mean, look, the whole Nazi Germany analogies are always troubling. But, that was one of the steps, is the parliament, or the Reichstag, or whatever it was sort of pushed out of existence and didn't have any oversight.
Yeah, apparently the government shutdown that they now caused, well, that's more proof that Mike Johnson and the GOP are basically operating like Nazi Germany. Every policy disagreement invoked the little 1940s German mustache man. Every political maneuver is the next Reich. Meanwhile, in the background, they're the party literally platforming dudes with Nazi tattoos. It's unbelievable. And of course, it's not just Gram Platner. No, they're also rallying behind Jay Jones. Jay Jones called for the death of his political opponents and their children, said that he would relish in it, and basically fantasized pissing on their graves. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's just because it's so utterly ridiculous. And now what's happening as his campaign is in freefall, the Democrat base is rallying to save his campaign. He's fundraising hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, J.B. Pritzker is now going on a media tour trying to help his brand.
Should the Virginia Attorney General nominee, Jay Jones, drop out of the race over those texts that have been the focus of this race?
Yeah, I think that the text that I think everybody points to, he's apologized about that. People make mistakes. They do.
So he shouldn't drop out.
It's one thing if someone's doing it repeatedly, right? If you're making comments repeatedly that are, like that no doubt, that was an offensive thing to write.
You've donated $20,000 to Jay Jones' campaign.
Yeah. And we're also learning that Pritzker cut him a $20,000 check to a leftist who wished death on his political opponents. Again, their children pissing on their graves. They're bankrolling his campaign and defending him. But somehow, we're the bad guys, right? The left has to ask themselves the question,
are we the baddies?
Yes, you are. Very clearly so. You are the baddies. But please, go on and on. Please lecture me about Pete Hegseth and his Templar tattoos. Never again, folks, never again should you ever accept any moral lecture coming from the left. They claim we're Nazis. They try to tie us to some of the fringe people on the internet who post the most despicable of things. They claim we're one and the same, even though that has nothing to do with our political movement. Meanwhile, look at their political movement. Look at the calls for death. Look at the praising of political violence and violent figures. Look at how they acted post-Charlie Kirk assassination. Look at how they're defending Jay Jones and Gram Platner. They try to connect us with the most fringe of fringe that doesn't even fall under our political banner. Meanwhile, they seem to mainstream and platform some of the highest levels of political extremism and radicalism out there. We are not the same, and I will accept no lecture from any of these leftists. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.